let's talk about crypto. Crypto has been looking strong. Let's pull up the old Bitcoin chart. Clean it up a little bit. So I don't think this is the bottom, right? I still do not think that's the bottom. All of this price action right now is just us trading in like the February monthly range, right? I still think we probably come for the 49K low. And the reason I think that is because there's a pretty juicy yearly order block sitting here. So yearly order block got a pretty clean sweep of this yearly candle. So I think it's coming back to tag this yearly order block is pretty high probability. The bull case against that happening would be that all of this price action and the sweep was just to come back to the yearly mid-range, which you can see right here, and which we also happen to be underside retesting at the moment. So few major levels. This is the February high. This red line here is your yearly mid-range. And we've got the previous range low right here, which I will mark in yellow. So the expectation for me is that this is a retrace after like a huge impulsive move down. And at some point we roll back over and come back and possibly sweep this low back inside and up. I'm open to that idea. But if I want to be like really bullish and actually like buy Bitcoin again and feel good about holding it for a long period of time, I would like to see this low taken out. I think that would be a sufficient amount of pain. So in the meantime, these are areas of interest. And we're sort of waiting to see what price does at these particular areas. I think this is a pretty bad spot to be getting super bulled up on crypto because, again, you can see Bitcoin is just trading into the yearly mid-range and the previous range low. And I think you have to assume that this is an underside retest until proven otherwise. I mean, it looks very similar to this. Like, are we doing this right now? And then we just dump? It hasn't historically been like a great thing when equities look bad and crypto starts turbo pumping. Like in spite of what your average random brain dead crypto Twitter account tweets at you about relative strength. It's I don't think there's any evidence to support that this is generally a good thing. So my plan at the moment is to start filling shorts slowly as we go up. Honestly, like we got to clear like 97K before I'm like kind of feeling good about the bottom being in. It's just, even looking at this as like a range, right? This major wave down. The reason I think we could go higher and like an ideal reversal scenario, if the market gives it, would actually be like a reversal off of the February high to open April. Even that, this would just be a retest of the mid-range of this move down, right? This is just a very basic mid-range retest, super common. And you're again expecting a rejection off there because this is a weak low. Like this whole area here, just leaving behind all of this unswept liquidity. This is the same shit I said to you guys back in December, just leaving behind this liquidity curve, and then it gets nuked, right? This is like the opposite of what I was talking about when talking about the Russell 2000 long. This is like, downside liquidity. So be cool right now. Be cool. You probably have some time to get involved. If we close a monthly candle like above the February high, I would start considering that maybe there is a potential the bottom is in. But even that wouldn't be good enough. That could just be a new bearish monthly order block forming, and then we sweep out that high and then we go down. So this is a nasty move. It's going to take a while to resolve. I will say Ethereum has looked pretty insane, actually. Ethereum is up 6.5% today. I've started averaging into a short. I'm going to cut it early if we start closing dailies above 2,400 because that is the February high. It wouldn't be weird at all to trade above this high and kind of sweep into it. That would just be like kind of like a monthly imbalance retest. I do think Ethereum is still going to take out these lows here. I think this is a weak bottom. It's a weak bottom. It's Tom Nam in the chat. These weak bottoms, they get taken out. There's just no freaking way this thing goes back up to like any sort of crazy price levels without taking this out. That being said, I think like we can get pretty bullish Ethereum in a scenario where we do something like this. Like I'm probably a buyer sub 1700. I think this is a good area because this could be a sustainable bottom, right? And if this happens, we're looking at coming back up in the range and maybe taking out all of these highs. Now, there are some trouble areas that I think you would have to be careful about, right? So this area above 3K would probably be my main target because this is supply that hasn't been mitigated. And then you've got a bunch kind of here up in the range. So I don't know that this would go to new all-time highs. I think my base case would be, a move up like this and then back down. I still think we go sub 1K. But this has basically been like Ethereum's life for the last 5 years. It's just a giant range trade, just up and down this range, right? So if it did this, it would just be just standard. Another day at the office for ETH. So yeah, to summarize that for you guys again, if you didn't catch all that, some sort of move up here. I don't know exactly how high this goes, but like the bias is to look for shorts somewhere here. The target to the downside would be 1700. And then we'd be looking for a bottom in Q2 along with an equities bottom, right? So this would be like maybe we get that sweep on the S&P 500 we're talking about and some sort of sweep on ETH back inside this 1700 range low. And then I think we're good. I think we could see a really nice move at that point. So until then, this is my skeptical face on this rally. If we go to 3K from here, I am going to miss it, and I'm going to live with that. Elsewhere in the crypto world, I know everybody is always wondering about Hyperliquid and PURR. PURR has been one of our great trades. Ticked back above $6 on this the other day. Got in around $4, so it's been a nice little ride so far. I think that this probably comes back down to this kind of 428 area at some point. I wouldn't be surprised to see it do this. I'm planning on buying more either somewhere in this order block, this kind of $4.30 to $5 range, or maybe on a sweep of this low. I would have to see what price does on the way back. I don't think it's just going to keep turboing up from here. If it does, then cool, I guess. I've been saying that hype is probably going to this kind of $44, $47 area. This is kind of like the first area of concern I have. And then the next main area of concern is $50 up here. This is kind of the final boss. I suspect what happens is we trade up into here and pull back, and then a pullback into this kind of $33 area. That would be pretty attractive for buying. I think I would probably buy more spot in here, and I would look to frame a leverage long in here as well. I think that if we top out somewhere around like $46, can kind of think in advance what the fib would look like. You can see we got the golden pocket, the 0.618, 0.79, lines up very nicely with this demand area. So like a strong move up here, it's going to need to pull back at some point. It can't just go straight line. So you could get one of those kind of like nasty moves down and a sting into this area and then back up, and then we continue to 50. That's probably my bias, my base case for how this happens. We've had this kind of liquidity chilling here for a while that I've had my eye on. So I think we probably take that out. I would also buy a pullback into this area right now, honestly. Like if we were to sweep here, sweep out this monthly high, and then pull back. Like I would still buy in here. I think this zone probably holds. It would be concerning to me to lose this $29 level, because that would be a break of structure that I don't think we should like close below there if we're going to continue to this area. Otherwise, just turn back into some bullshit range for who knows how long. But hopefully that's not the case. The war in Iran has been great for hype. It's kind of proven the ability for the Hyperliquid network to do price discovery on the weekends. There's been a ton of volume on oil futures, commodities like gold, silver. It's been pretty cool to see. I know everybody is like, the haters are sort of like, oh, everybody in crypto is bullish on this, and the crypto people are always wrong, so it's going to go down. I don't think that's a very compelling thesis. We used to be right about things. We used to be early to stuff and make a lot of money. We used to be great. We can be great again. We can be early to trades. It is possible for us to be early and make money. I know it hasn't happened in like a half a decade, but it's possible. Nobody in TradFi owns this thing yet, and it is like the easiest thing we've ever created for the TradFi suits to wrap their head around. So I like it. I continue to hold a lot of it. It is, I think, still my largest personal position if you combine PURR and hype token. So I feel good. I'm trying to just stay zoomed out. Somebody posted something on this chart the other day. They're like, this chart is so bearish. This chart is not bearish. Like, look, if I invert this chart, let's invert the chart. You tell me I show you this chart and you want to go long? You're not longing this chart. This is like the easiest short of all time. There could not be a more bearish chart than this. This is like easy mode. Yes, there is an order block here, which is why I think we could bounce, i.e. pull back, right? But I think this just continues. This goes to zero. This chart goes to zero, meaning that our net worths go to infinity. Very bearish chart, the inverse hype chart. Every time I feel sad or uncertain about my hype position, I invert the chart and I look at it and I've recenter myself with how fucking terrible this chart looks. And then I feel good again.